finals. Land
Well,
finals. Is that a thing?
Valorant,
Could be.
it
Could be a
could be a
thing.
thing. It could be a thing now,
It could be a
definitely. But
thing.
if you guys do want to find out more, like you just said, you can also type exclamation mark commands in the chat to get all the commands that we've mentioned. Exclamation mark cup to get the information on the cup. Exclamation mark social if you want that little social, follow us to have a look at everything. Exclamation mark bracket or brackets if you want to, view the bracket, see where the teams are doing, what matchups are coming, what matchups have happened, look in the past. But one of the main things, the squeaky thing behind me, you can enter the exclamation mark giveaway to win yourself an ESL 2.0 chair and some vouchers for the ESL store. But, we spoke about this. The chair can really help. So try your luck.
Are we going to hear any squeaks from your chat tonight?
Possibly.
Well, your microphone seems to be too good to be picking up these noises, so...
That's and also I may have used Q20 and Q40 on it or something. A little bit of oil on there, so it is not going to squeak this time, thankfully, but who knows, my cat might start squeaking.
Well, and if whatever right now Ghostar said you didn't understand, or you didn't listen, or you didn't care, and you want to find the information on Euro, just simply go to esl.gg/officialsec, and you can find everything literally you want to know about the tournament. We are going to be slowly but surely getting into this game. And I want to ask you this question.
I was waiting for it.
Who is going to prevail early game?
Early game, I'm just going to have to give it straight to GPLAY. Just the way they got the picks, the way they got a little bit more aggression, and then just also how they don't, an x25, they don't have the best early game kind of picks. They have, champions that can play early game, but they're not really excel at it, whereas now GPLAY do. So I'm going to give the early game to GPLAY. But the team fight potential, if they let Gangplank get ahead, if they let Oriana, be able to catch people off guard, if you start to let Sejuani, get in the right positioning, they're going to be winning this team fight unless Syndra, decides to catch him off guard or Zaya pulls out a nice play. But I don't see that happening way into the late game because Gangplank is going to be one of the frontliners, especially with the tanky Sejuani. So I give the team fight to x25 and I give the early game to GPLAY.
All right, then we are very shortly going to get into our game and let's see what we have here. There we go.
Pause.
Do we?
Hello, darkness, my old friend. There's a small
saying
pause.
Hello, darkness, my old friend, my screen has actually gone a little bit dark, so I'm not sure if that's a new thing that happens to Summoner's Rift. Oh, here we go. We are back into it, ladies and gentlemen.
It's a feature, I promise.
We have a game into our hands. I already see two Ares on the side of x25, and these do potentially hurt quite a bit.
I don't, especially in the early game. That's like if you get caught off that and you do let it hit you, it's quite painful, and there's not much you can really do to early game because you don't have too much of your, you don't have your boots, you don't have your mobility to get away, so it's kind of like, I don't know, with the new runes and masteries, I don't know what to expect. It's slowly shaping into, the meta where it's not too much of a difference, but there is a lot, like we're going to see this game is the kleptomancy on, the Gangplank at the top lane.
Alright then, I was looking just right now at the runes to see if anyone else is cheekily running kleptomancy, but it's not going to be the case. The two junglers seem to be wanting to mirror each other in the jungle, to start from the top and run their way all the way to the bot. At least that's what I see Sejuani wanting to do. It's pretty obvious that Kha'Zix is going to start towards that red side, and we do indeed see the Sejuani starting on the blue side for them as well.
I know, I think that's both teams going like, okay, well, we're going to recognize that bot lane is where we can potentially find the cracks in, the teams and start snowballing ahead. So Zaya Rakan, I think Kha'Zix just wants to help them get ahead, and then the same can be said with the Sejuani wanting to, get Lucian and Karma ahead. So once your bot lane's ahead, it opens up a lot of the map. You can do the lane swaps, you can go around, your jungle's a little bit more free to go in, so I think both of them are recognizing, that they want to get this ahead, and they're not going to be focusing to gank quite early. You could see a level 3 gank coming out.
Typical client freezes just never leave us, do they?
Oh no, it's a greeting. I think it's a greeting at the moment. Like, hey, welcome to Summoner's Rift.
Here, have a little freeze.
Yeah, have another one.
Did you? Okay,
Yeah,
now
my
we
luck.
have the first 2v2 in the bot lane. The Lucian is going to be able to get away from that. But that was a huge chunk that the bot lane of GPLAY was able to take out of that Lucian. My oh my. Okay, and they do want to go again. The knockup is not going to land onto the Kama, but the Q from the Kama is going to hurt back onto the Rakan. And the Aerie is doing quite a bit of significant poke right there. Now the bot lane are going to hit level 2, so they both back off quite a bit. The Gangplank seems to be doing alright versus the Maokai. At least he's not getting that panicked yet.
Oh, not yet. Not yet. It's going to start happening a little bit once you hit level 4. Level 4 or 5 is when he has quite a little bit more, has all of his abilities. He can do a bit more damage. And Gangplank he's very low in mana at this stage because he's had to use his Kleptomancy. So he's going to be queuing every time that's up.
Oh, and talking about that Setsuani trying to find the Kazakhs in the jungle, it actually happened. Both these junglers used their flashes though. So next time they meet, it's going to be a brawl. It's going to be a fight. Nobody's going to be able to get away, at least flash away. And there are a few slows in between these two junglers. So we might be able to see first blood next time we meet there. Kha'Zix is not going to have none of that. He's going to go towards his top side since he knows that Setsuani was towards the bot side. Flash away from the knockup by Kama right there. She probably felt threatened by that knockup, so she's like, I ain't staying
this
that.
early on, if that knockup comes near you, you don't want to risk it. You just want to be like, okay, let's not give over first blood, let's get out of here.
Another knockup that is not going to land, but the Setsuani this time is there. Ignite has gone down onto the Rakan, and we are going to see first blood onto that Lucian. The Zaya wants, though, this Karma dead, but is it going to happen? Heal is going to be popped by the ADC of GPLAY. Double kill for that Lucian, and that is a good start for a Lucian. That Orianna is pressuring the lane more than she should be, but Setsuani is there again. Beautiful double stun is going to land from the Syndra and the Kha'Zix. At least no time, he just jumps in. Oh boy, that Setsuani is so low. Nate speed heal is going to be popped by the Syndra just to get closer to that Setsuani. And now the Orianna is in deep trouble. Is he going to be dived? No, she's not. Both summoners burned right there for the mid laners, and one flash on the Syndra, but that benefits the Kha'Zix in that instance. And Rakan has come to the aid of GPLAY to pressure the mid lane.
Well, like that. I think that's kind of like a response right away. It was like, okay, we had a double kill in the bot lane. This isn't going too well. While Zaya is going down to push the big wave, or while she's going to be there to be farming for a bit, they know that the Karma Lucian are out of this, so he is just going to walk into mid, put a bit of pressure, kill a few minions, and then help Kha'Zix push out the lane, because that wave was very far up the mid lane. Yeah, let's take a tower hit, so there's something going in there.
Well, the lane in the mid lane is pretty much okay right now for both the mid laners. If I didn't know better, I would say that right now it does benefit the Syndra because it is going to be pushing towards her tower, and that Orianna does not want to be overextending with the heal down. She does have a flash, thankfully for her, to be able to get away if the situation gets sticky. And still, we do see the Gangplank trading better in the top lane, but he was just back and used his teleport. So now the Maokai
just look at his
going to mirror
items.
the same.
Just completely look at the items that he's got in right now. He's got mana potions, he's got wards, he's got, the plus 10 adaptive force, and like he's got a whole bunch of others. He's also, now he really has his sheen, so his damage is there now. Whereas Maokai is forced to go the tanky route. He went straight for the boots, and he's still got the orange shield, he's still got his health pod, and he has got a control ward. But right now he couldn't really contest with Gangplank until he gets to a little bit more of an aggressive item.
We see the 2 kills on the Lucian, but he did opt to go for those fancy attack speed boots to be able to get away from any potential knockup that might be coming from the Rakani. It's going to help him very much into that lane, and if a potential gank from the Kha'Zix is to happen as well. That Kha'Zix though, talking about him, he is in the top lane, he wants to be farming right now, get that 6, sneak into a bush and be able to get a sneaky gank down. That Syndra though is level 6 and he does want that Orianna dead. Ultimate is gonna be popped, but it is more zoning to get that Orianna to get scanned and a little bit back off onto the lane. kill still not up from any of the two mid laners, but she does have the flash on her right now if the Kha'Zix is to show his face in the mid lane.
But like right now, Syndra popping the ultimate kind of forces Orianna to play defensive, and even though Sejuani is there, you can't gank that with that low HP because that can be a turnaround with Syndra, especially that she has the stun. You know, she has quite some burst damage. And the top lane, we are seeing the Kleptomancy still being used and being abused completely. So in the bot lane, there is the aggression that we said. Like, they did get the boots, and just looking at the farm, he is 11 CS ahead.
Oh boy, we do have potentially a fight about to break into the jungle of x25. The observer is not showing us what we want to see, but there is going to be no fight. Sejuani is going to be running away with her own blue buff right then. Let's see where the Kha'Zix chooses to go next. We do have a 1v1 in between the Maokai and the Gangplank. Just some damage back and forth. At this time, like you said, benefits the Maokai. Bind is going to be landing on that Xayah, and so is the Ignite. One more hit is gonna do it. One kill goes to the Kha'Zix, and the Rakan runs away, literally with 10 health left.
Like, that's the thing with the Gangplank versus Maokai. Maokai has a great ultimate, and they are going to go for this dive right here. They are going to jump in, get the kill, and just run out. Simple?
2 kills on the Kha'Zix right now are pretty scary. That's what we said. You don't want these assassins snowballing early game out of control. He is 8 minutes into the game and he does have 2 kills on him right now, even on farm with Sejuani, but the impact he is having in the game so far is much bigger because that Maokai is gonna keep on bullying that Gangplank, and potentially you do want the Gangplank getting into the fight, but right now we see that the Sejuani and the Orianna ulti have landed onto the Syndra. I don't think she has much chance of leaving right there. She's gonna pop the heal, but she's gonna be going down to the Sejuani that we were talking about. She doesn't have a lot of impact, but that is the 3rd kill she has been included in, so they're starting to
she's starting it. Exactly. Her ultimate comes up. She has, you know, the great CC, keeps her there. The Orianna comes out, is well chained. And just, you know, there's nothing you can really do to that. There's not like you can counter. Even if you had flash in that situation, you got hard CC'd like twice. So you're not going to have much HP leaving that battle. And right now they do have 2 kills on the Kha'Zix. So if they are going to try and get these lanes going, I think Rakan right now is roaming a little bit too much this early on, especially having the bot lane, you know, be behind. So without Kha'Zix in that lane, and especially with Rakan not there to also help out in the lane, look at how much this Karma and Lucian combo is just hurting and pushing all the way up.
They do see that the Rakan is on the side, and Lucian is gonna dive in there to get some poke onto the Xayah. The bot lane of x25 played really well right there, the 2v2, because the bot lane of GPLAY was not level 6 yet, they were level 5, so that Xayah ultimate, had it been up, it would have changed completely the game, but now there's 4 people of GPLAY, and does x25 know that? The Sejuani has been in the bush for quite a while, and the second they see that, GPLAY backs off. They don't want to have to do anything with that angry lady with the boar.
Oh, and also, like, the moment they played that smart, they saw that there were going to be 3 people there, and then they were like, oh, well, somebody else must be on their way. Syndra's on the way, Ward gets spotted, and then she's just going to go back to the mid lane. But that could have potentially been a dive if the wave was pushed up, so they kind of did very well to just, you know, push the lane up, play at a safe distance, get away, and that's where Kha'Zix can't get in.
Is going to be landing on the Xayah. It's going to be disappear from the face of the earth. Now they have their eye onto the Rakan, but the Gangplank is down there, only in spirit and with the ultimate to get that kill out of nowhere. I don't think the Maokai will be very pleased about that. Another time that the bottom of GPLAY is going down. 5 kills in between them in 11 minutes into the game.
Like, that's the one reason people pick Gangplank. Like, as much as he does a lot of crit damage, he gets, you know, a lot of this late game scaling, and he can almost one-shot somebody. His ultimate is a global. And right now, against a lot of top laners, you know, you have Shen who does have his global, but right now, Gangplank can just sit in the top lane, farm, build up his build, keep him there, keep the tower alive, and then ultimate bot lane when they go for a dab with 3 people. And he's kind of technically there, like you said,
oh, now they have their eye on that Syndra. Flash and bind, but the Syndra is going to flash away. The Ignite has gone down, and there are quite a lot of people right there from x25. You ain't going anywhere. Syndra C is going to be going down, and the TP from the Maokai is going to be getting cancelled. You don't want to be TPing into 4 angry members of x25, but he is going to get his anger because he cancelled his TP onto that Gangplank.
Oh, like, right now Gangplank's low on mana, so you can't see him really just spamming his W, getting a bit of health back, trying to, you know, get away from a lot of the CC. So right now is the perfect
The Zaya
opportunity
is
to
all
go
alone
aggressive.
in that bot lane, and the bot lane of x25 know that also the Sejuani is down there. The Rakan is trying to help his ADC, but guess what? The Kha'Zix is down there as well, and they are putting down the damage onto the Kama. X25 did use her flash before to get the Syndra. That's going to be going down that Kama, and she is going down to the Kha'Zix. 3-0 for the jungler of GPLAY, but shut down goes to the Lucian. 3-0-4 for the ADC of x25.
And that was like just a perfect engagement. I don't know what to really say besides like they played that to a point where they caught somebody off guard. They took the advantage, and then there's not much. Like you saw how zoned the Rakan was right there. Like he can't get into the lane. He can't try and help Zaya. Zaya has to pop ultimate, and then they make the mistake of, I don't know, playing a little bit too aggressive, and then just getting caught off guard.
And that is definitely the punishment that Sejuani can bring into the game, and same as the Kha'Zix. But right now, I was saying that we do see the Kha'Zix have more impact into the game, but that was depending on his own kills. Right now, we do see the Sejuani being included in 7 out of 8 kills for her team. So the second I say something, it kind of flips 180.
Or like a 3-1-4 Sejuani versus a 3-1-0 Kha'Zix. So Kha'Zix has been there, but he's killed the people, whereas, you know, Sejuani's been there, killed the people, and helped the team out. So I'd have to say one of the junglers is doing a little bit better than the other ones, but I'm not going to point out too much as they do catch him off guard.
Is going to be going down as well, same as that camera probably know. The still from Orianna is going to be saving her, but there's 4 people of GPLAY right there, and x25 have to run for the kills. The Lucian is going to be joining them, and that is enough for GPLAY to back off. You don't want to be dealing 14 minutes into the game with a 3-0-4 Lucian, 25 CS head, and the Blade of the Ruin King completed. So x25 is just going to turn their eye onto that dragon. So is GPLAY going to be contesting that?
I don't think you really want to be contesting that, especially you do know the Gangplank ultimate is down, so you can kind of make your way around there.
Oh, they
and
are
look
onto
at the
that
mid
Orianna.
lane.
She's going to be going down to the Kha'Zix. We have talked about that stun from the Syndra. If it lands and the Kha'Zix is near, you are in very deep trouble, and he showcases right there. Why is that? x25 is going to be walking away with a Mountain Drake though, so that's not bad.
Yeah.
That's not a bad trade.
That's not a bad trade. That's actually a favorable trade. And look at them just running into middle, doing so much damage. They're playing this perfectly, but we are going to look straight at the farm. And you know, this Maokai going into a Gangplank. The Gangplank is getting the better, not the trades, but in terms of the team fight and global presence, he's definitely winning there. And his lane's not doing bad. He's just a little bit behind in CS, not too much. Jungler's literally dead even. Orianna is also a tiny bit behind, but only by 5. But Lucian is a little bit ahead, and then Karma is, well, the supports. But they are going to be looking to divide.
The tower right there, but the Kha'Zix is coming to the top to assist him. The Gambler is going to be getting alive out of that. The barrel is going to pop, and the Kha'Zix is not. He's going to take the kill and get out. We see how strong is that dive potential with the Maokai in the top lane. That Gangplank is paying the price right now for x25.
Right now they're punishing him. They're like, well, you don't really go down to the team fight, so we're going to come to you and bring it to under the tower. But they are going to catch
all
off
alone
the
in the top. This is going to be caught by 4 members right there of x25. What can you do? Who are they going to kill? The kill 2. It is going to be
but
the
look in the
Sejuani who's
mid
going to
lane.
claim the 4th kill right there. I'm not sure if that was intended.
But there is a Gangplank ultimate that is going to come up, and that's going to force them just to leave this tower alone. And they do have a lot of wards in the top lane. They are going to be stealing a bit of the jungle, trying to get a little bit more of the advantages. And bot lane, Lucian is continuing to just push. I suppose it's not really a threat there, and his team is in the mid, and they do have the wards. So the question right now is, how are they going to be getting... Not, I wouldn't say back into this, but how they're going to be getting their map pressure back into this. Because right now they have to send 3 people to a certain zone just to catch off somebody, you know, take a little bit of advantage of that and then play some wards. But right now, they're just letting this Lucian take the bottom tower for free, basically.
That's its potential with the Lucian that is so far ahead is tremendous. And I am worried because... that is going to be pretty much a dancing Lucian composition from x25. You're going to have him in your front line, dashing and running and having speed buffs and having shields. 2 different shields 2 different speed buffs, and his own way to dodge skills. And he's already so far ahead that I think the only way GPLAY can get on him right now is if they can get a very cheeky stun from the Syndra and follow it up with Maokai and Rakan engage.
Well, like that's one of their main engage things, I have to say right now. They're relying a lot on, to find a stun for Maokai to pop his ultimate or Rakan to jump in. And right now, the only one that's really safe to go in as an engage is this Maokai. And he hasn't been having the best of time. All of his ultimates have been used, diving somebody. So we haven't seen him in a team fight. We haven't seen him try to take advantage of his ultimate, but he is now in the bot lane against this Gangplank once again. But this time, he's roaming a little bit more than he used to be in the top lane.
I mean, for a Gangplank who has Kleptomancy on him, I will take the fact that he is even CS with the Maokai, since the Gangplank has been dived twice so far, but he is still keeping up with that CS. But guess what? The Kha'Zix is down there yet again, and if GPLAY can abuse a champion right now, it is that Gangplank who is sitting all on his lonesome into that bot lane. But x25 reply with another objective. 4th tower in the game about to fall.
And like right now, that's just the perfect siege game. Group up, take an objective, fall back. Group up, take an objective, fall back. Even though the GPLAY's response right now is to, group up, not as big numbers, but, go for a kill and then walk away. Like, they're going for these kills, but they're not really going for the objectives.
Kha'Zix is right there, but he did eat a barrel to the face, and he decides otherwise. He's like, no, I didn't mean that. I'm going back. The Syndra did roam as well, and that leaves the Orianna all alone in the mid lane to push that wave. There is no TP onto that Syndra, so that wave might be hitting tower. Oh, the Rakan very cheekily is going to pull the wave on the side. Very well played there by the support of GPLAY to be able to get the Syndra to get that farm in the mid lane and not completely lose it. Look at him. He is pulling that farm again onto the side.
Oh no, like that
stuff right there.
It's the little things in life, especially the little things in League of Legends that really make it kind of like just a small delaying of the farm, getting to the side to force that lane not to push up way too much, and it works out perfectly for them. As Syndra is now just going to be back in lane, claiming the farm. Gangplank right now, I have to say, I'd like to see him getting into the fights now, because at this stage of the game, you're almost heading to 20 minutes, Baron's going to be up, and right now, Maokai seems to be a bigger threat in a team fight, unless you hit a great Gangplank ultimate, and Maokai is just going to continue scaling, and eventually he hits a point where he's this giant tank walking around, and you have to all focus him for so long just to burst him, and by the time you're doing that, well, Kha'Zix is behind you, so there's a lot to go into the team fights, but we should definitely be heading that way, knowing that Baron and Dragon are going to be up in the next 30 seconds.
It seems like x25 do have their eye on the Dragon right now. That's why they have put that bot lane towards the bot side. But as we can see that GPLAY are trying to get that Zarya ready and farmed for the next fight. 2 items completed for the Lucian and only 1 completed so far for the Zarya. So does GPLAY want to take this fight on the Dragon?
I don't think they can contest it, and they can potentially catch somebody off guard. But like you see them setting up the death bush, but Karma being Karma was like, oh wait, there's actually somebody there, so they're not going to go for it. So we could potentially see an engage come in from the side and catching them off guard. But
Gangplank is coming down with his own teleport, but that Dragon was too far low for the Sichuan to be able to steal. The Mocha is going to be jumping straight into the whole x25, and so is the Rakan, and the Orianna goes down, but who is alive is the Lucian, and that's the one that matters so far. The Sichuan is going to be going down as well, and so far we have 3 members of x25 dead, and only 1 from GPLAY. They have somehow found that engage that we talked about, that Rakan triple taunt right there, and the Syndra putting up so much damage was exactly what GPLAY needed to get back into this. And on top of that, let's not forget the Infernal that just went down.
Yeah, also, like, right then, they split up, and the engagement was all over the place. But one of the main points there is the team's focus on, trying to burst somebody down. Instead of going on from one target to the next one, Zarya was just left freely to sit from the side and, put out the damage that she does. And Sejuani was kind of caught in the middle of 4 people, and they just focused her, took her down, and there goes one of the main tanks. Gangplank wasn't really there. He just got caught off guard on the side and just had to, kind of fall back. So That's one of those. If they can do this again, as you see right now, they're not too far behind in the gold lead. They are only 2 kills behind as well, and you're starting to get to the point where Baron is up. So that team fight down there is quite a good indication of their team fighting capability. So you are going to be a little bit more cautious going into the next fight.
Well, this Kha'Zix right now is sitting on 6 kills. Duskblade has been completed for his side, and that starts getting stuff very, very dangerous for x25. They need to somehow not split, but also get the Lucian through that Maokai. We know that Lucian does not deal very well with tanks, and fortunately for x25, GPLAY only has one, the Maokai. So if they can somehow get him to slip through the Maokai into GPLAY's back line, then we might potentially see x25 winning these team fights. But with the Xayah scaling towards late game, it is going to get harder and harder for x25 to win these team fights.
No, especially, like you said, they do only have one tank, but they have one of the main tanks. Like, Maokai is very tanky. He's up there at the top with... If you're going forward to pick a tank, S+ tier, Maokai is pretty strong, because he still does the damage. His ultimate works well now. He does, you know, I'd have to say, his zoning works pretty well against, you know, Illusion, and... That's going to be a problem going to this. Unless Sejuani gets a nice ultimate, Gangplank follows up, Orianna catches somebody off guard with the ball, and then they engage and pop Xayah. But right now, if they don't focus down, you know, at least the Xayah or I'd have to say that 6-2-1 Kha'Zix, they are going to be in trouble. But right now, having all the kills on the Kha'Zix, if they can get him out of the fight, they negate a lot of the damage.
Or simply group up. But then if you do group up, then you have abilities like the stun of Syndra and the Rakan jumping into you being more optimal for GPLAY. Like, they're not even going to have to try to hit somebody, because if all of x25 is grouped because they are scared of the Kha'Zix, then they're more likely to be hit by all these knockups and the stuns that GPLAY have.
Oh yeah, if you have, you know, Rakan engaging, and the moment he knocks up at least 2-3 people, Maokai is going to pop his ultimate, catch somebody off guard, and then, as you said...
Oh, they are going to be getting onto that Syndra, and they have jumped onto her, but the ultimate is going to be coming down onto the Lucian. He's not going to die, but he's going to get the Syndra kill in return. The Rakan wants to get away, but the last ball hit from Orianna is going to take him down as well. That is the fight x25 needed, one that doesn't include the Xayah and the Kha'Zix, and they took that. Now they have their eyes onto the mid lane. The bind is not going to land onto the Maokai, but the poke is. And they are pushing him away from that tower. He's pretty tanky though. He's not taking a lot of that damage. They are having their eye onto the mid lane tower, and it is going to be going down. But that Kha'Zix is in the top lane against the Lucian. So what can the Lucian do right here? 1v1 against the Kha'Zix. So if he isolates targets, it does pretty much make them disappear. But because the Lucian is also so fed, he is able to force that Kha'Zix back.
I like that. That's a bit of a range advantage. It was played very well. I don't know how to say it better, besides Lucian just played the perfect kart game. You know, he took a bit of damage, got away, you know, procced his abilities, did the damage, forced him to kind of stay in the bush and be like, well, I can't take this fight, I'm going to get burst down. So he does get out of there safely, but that's a big sign right now that your 6-2-1 Kha'Zix can't take on the Lucian, especially when he was isolated. So that's a lot of telltales right there.
Exactly, so that means that CC is getting even more crucial for GPLAY to land, because if your most fed assassin cannot kill the most fed ADC of the enemy team, then you do have a problem. But the Baron has started, so there's 2 members of x25 into that bot lane. Now they're getting the sign that it started with the Gangplank ulti checking the Baron, and GPLAY saying, you know what, alright, you caught us, we're just gonna back off.
Well, like that's his ultimate right there. It's like, well, hey, let's have a look. Oh, they're gonna be backing off because they kind of saw the ultimate. So his ultimate is, I'd have to say right now, doing a lot of work. We've seen it, you know, make the picks on the dives in bot lane. We've seen it do the mid lane, but now scaling into the late game, it is doing well. So I'm glad to see that. He is starting to scale really heavily into this late game. Right now, once you pass the 25-minute mark is when he starts one-hitting people with barrels and doing so much damage. And Maokai can't really respond right now in a 1v1 because the farm's not there.
They might be catching the Rakan right here. This one ultimate is going to be landing, and the Lucian is the first one to jump in. And that Syndra stun does not matter. Colin gonna be going down. The whole thing is going to be going down onto the Syndra. Flash away, but the damage is gonna be landing from the Zarya right there, and that Kama is in trouble as well. Double kill for the ADC of GPLAY. The Ignite goes down, and we have Setuani against the world. Gangplank is gonna be also going down to the Zarya, and what happened there? Quadra kill for the ADC of GPLAY, and what am I seeing?
You seeing why Zarya is banned?
That's what they needed. That's what
roots-
GPLAY needed to get back into the game, and they
It
just
was-
gave it to them.
I don't know, that was perfectly played. And right then, the Katsid got her away from the abilities, you know, they were at the disadvantage. She managed to root down people, single out targets, do a lot of damage, but they are going to be starting this Baron right now. That's very risky.
Oh, Shockwave going to be missing from the Orianna, and that is the go factor for GPLAY. Redemption gonna be coming in, Orianna flashes away, but how far away can you get from 4 members of GPLAY? And they are going to be back on that Baron yet again. X25 overextended in that fight. 1 kill was not enough for them, and they paid 4 kills on GPLAY's ADC. And right now, the Gangplank ultimate is coming down, and reinforces have arrived for X25. They are waiting for the Setuani to
Look
come
at the Baron.
in. So the smite
Sounds
can
like
go
it-
down. Dangerous stuff right there. Both the Kazakhs and the Setuani are so close, and they both want the Baron. Who is he gonna go to? Lucifer has arrived in the fight, and Zarkan is down, but the Kazakhs steals the Baron for GPLAY. What is going on in this game? Is he gonna be paying with his life? Yes, he is, but he has done it. They started that Baron, and they ended that Baron.
I don't know what to say. They didn't single out Kazakhs, and he was just hanging around like, oh well, you guys also want to go for it. They didn't let it get reset. They just played it risky. They kept the Baron alive, very low HP, and now the chase is going to begin to try and just punish them as much as they can. And Syndra,
They want the Baron above down.
Oh no, definitely. And Syndra is going to be in, you know, World of Pain very shortly once the Orianna comes in from the side.
Well, the Orianna coming down right now to claim the kill, but who is going to be the one that claims the kill? It is going to be that Gangplank. Oh my god, I still can't believe that Baron fight. What just happened there? The Kazakhs was not having none of that. It was just waiting on the side, got into the pit, while all of X25 almost moved out. They are cutting the Rakan while I'm saying that. Another kill going to that Lucian. 6, 2, and 9 sitting in his pockets right now, along with 3 items and a QSS, respectively. 3 items on that Zarya as well. But with that quadra kill, he's quite rich.
Oh no, definitely. That's going to put it right back into the game and be like, well, we're going to have to respect, you know, Zarya. You almost got your penta, so the respect is there. And I just want to say that as much as they got the Baron steal, Kazis did a really great job there, you know, kind of singled out, got into the perfect timing, you know, got down to smart, jumped in at the perfect timing. They don't make much use of it. They got hunted down, they got taken down, and then they're still far behind in the gold, and they're not really going to be able to use this Baron buff, especially straight after you using the Baron buff. You guys are all over the map, and you're just getting single outed, and then you're going to get taken down.
5k separating these two teams right now. The Lucian is about to run into the Kazakhs. That is a big mistake by the Lucian. The Orianna still does not land. The Shockwave is going to be, but it doesn't matter. What happened there? Why didn't the seal go off for Orianna? She went for the Shockwave instead of trying to seal the ADC.
I think she wanted to catch him. She wanted to pop that earlier, but as I said, like, we're not going to be using the Baron buff. They do take down the mid tower, and
They're going to be
Kazakhs, yeah,
continuing. Now
they're
that the
catching
Lucian
more.
is down.
I'm going to pop that ultimate just to kind of zone everybody out, root them a bit to the back, and potentially get this tower. And they know Shockwave is down, so they can just push this.
Well, you were saying they're not going to be using the Baron buff, and they just prove you wrong.
Oh, they
It's the same
certainly
thing
are.
with me. Everything we say, we know that the exact opposite is going to happen. They are trying to catch that Malka, who is away from his team off guard, but it is only the Setuani right there with the help of the Gamma. But how much damage can these two put down? The Ignite is going to be going down, and be careful right there, X25, because the whole of GPLAY is down to cancel. Right, Glory is going to be popped, and Setuani dashes away, but the Rakan is right there with an ultimate and knock up to get her back into the action. Gangplank ultimate is going to be landing just to slow 3 members of GPLAY, and that Kazakhs is doing work on the background. He is going to get that Orianna down with heal up, and right now X25 is the one who is running away again. The Kazakhs is going to be jumping onto that Lucian. Heal is going to be popped, but how long is he going to be able to stay alive for? He's not, is the answer. Karma falls again, and this one is in between 5 members of GPLAY. Double kill for the ADC of GPLAY. 300 CS right now, 7 kills, I think that is the ADC they needed from the start. They're getting it late game, and that's when it matters.
I don't know, like right there, that's just perfect scaling. They called somebody off guard, and then the Kazakhs double shotted the Orion. That's her gone for the fight. They go, oh, okay, let's move on to the next squishy. He runs down there, catches off Lucian, and then that could be very much be the game right there. Yeah.
Dawning ultimate gonna be going down. The first Nexus tower is down, and GPLAY has their eye on to the Nexus. Second tower that is remaining, the only one that's remaining for x25, and Olrian and Gangplank are up. 3-man shockwave is going to be landing, and Rakan goes down. Is it going to be enough for x25 to defend their Nexus? It is so far. No! The Xayah is going to be having the last say on this tower. Oh my god.
Xayah. That is
Boy, oh
why
boy.
you kind of banned her. You just saw the turnaround, getting, that quadra kill, then doing more damage, then catching everybody off guard. Pair that with how the Kazakhs was just jumping in and completely deleting, the squishies. I don't know what to say. Like that's going to be a respect ban. Like right there. Like this is why she's banned. Let's not let them get it again. But that was just very well played from them. The comeback, mounting off these objectives, getting the Baron steal, perfectly executed. I don't know what else to say.
Well, I will say this is how to throw an advantage one-on-one. X25 had the winning potential into their pockets. That Lucian had all the power for that team into his hand, and we did see him kind of crossing the line quite a few times. I mean, yes, you are very strong, because you have all these skills, you have all these items very early in the game, but you can't underestimate a Kazakhs, a Syndra, and the damage they can put out if they catch you off guard and all alone.
No, definitely. And they didn't use the gangplank. Like, going into that gangplank is where a lot of your damage is going to come in the team fights, where his barrels are going to be popping off. But the team fights, they were caught off guard a lot of the times where they're like, oh, we can't take this fight. And then one of them gets popped, Lucian's going to go down, Oriana's going to get popped with the Kazakhs. They never had a team fight. To think of it, they had, they caught somebody off guard themselves, but they've never had a full 5v5 team fight. They always Maokai used it to split away, Gangplank stuck at top, and they don't have this, this even 5v5. They don't use the advantages they had. So it was very well played to GPLAY, just staying strong with the mentality game and going, okay, we can just push through. Xayah now got a quadra kill, we can slowly take the advantage, take it back, and then when they catch him off guard, in the game.
Well, you heard it, ladies and gentlemen. We are about to go into a very short break, but stay with us because we are going into Game 2 versus GPLAY BG and X25 eSports. So stay right where you are. We are coming back very shortly.